we're going to get started, and afterwards we'll have time to visit, because we haven't done this in so long that we need to get reconnected and connected, and it's just really good to see all of you again. At our December meeting, we decided we would try to reorganize and get things going again, because with COVID and everything, it was just sort of falling apart. Nobody wanted to be president. And I said I would do it for a year. And now we got a message from ASBA that we don't need to have a president, that if we have a governing board, that will suffice. So if nobody wants to be president, nobody has to be president. And we can go that way. As you can see now, our meetings are being recorded, not just notes by a secretary, but she is recording our meeting, and she'll record our Zoom meetings as well. And tell them about going on YouTube.
Yeah, so what we'll do is, if for some reason anybody can't make a meeting, then what we'll do is we'll be able to upload them to YouTube. And so we can just send a link after the meeting is done, so the next day. Yeah.
And also for the Zoom meetings we have, if you're able to come, fine. If not, you can connect with us on YouTube. So that's something we've never had before, and I think it's wonderful. Yeah. So we decided we were going to reorganize, and we have a committee of three that are
volunteered to be the third pair of eyes.
Rewriting our bylaws. And Mary, can you just give us a short blurb about what you've done so far and where we're going with that?
Is here good?
Yeah.
Okay, Martha and I are taking on rewriting the bylaws, hopefully into a more cohesive, cognizant format that's easier to understand what the chapter's about. Like Dorothy said, we're wanting to take the organization forward into basically the 21st century. So we want to offer virtual options, a hybrid menu of meetings. So some meetings will be via Zoom and some meetings will be in person. We've been in conversation with the ASBA about our board structure. So there's lots of things that are changing, and we need the bylaws to reflect that. So Martha and I are in the process of working on that. Do we have a third set of eyes?
Is Rachel?
Yeah.
Rachel. So Rachel, Martha, and I will undertake revising the bylaws, and when we're done, we will post them to the membership.
I think we need to tell people who we are, because we have new members here that don't know us.
Okay.
I'm Dorothy DiPaolo.
I'm Mary Barnes, and Dorothy volunteered to be president for a year, and I volunteered to be vice president for a year. So Dorothy and I are leading up the transition team. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is Rachel.
I'm Rachel Sturtz.
And she's our recording secretary and photographer and film crew and
all of it.
She's our tech person.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe her husband is our tech person. Yeah.
Okay. So we're working on organization, but we're also working on doing some shows. And I'm going to have Sharon Garrett Yeah. Talk about that.
Well, the exhibits committee is reorganizing too. In other words, we're going to have a committee instead of 2 people at this point. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So we're going to be doing some reorganizing, and I did kind of a cursory list of kind of the committee positions or committee needs that we'll have for exhibits, and I'll pass them out and let you guys, if you have something that you are interested in and are your talents, like if you are a graphic artist, for instance, what areas you could help us in on the committee, be on the committee in that, or really good with computers. We could use somebody on that. Anyhow, so I'll be passing this out for you guys, and I only have 10 copies, so maybe teams could sign it. And if you are, I would like your name and your email address on this. You might just circle the things that you are most interested in, feel that you're comfortable with. So I will pass that out. Our next, we have been working with, as you all know, with the Alpine Gardens, Betty Ford Alpine Gardens, and so we're scheduled to have another show with them called Wild and Wonderful.
In the West.
In the West. Dorothy gave this title for us. And so the dates of that, we're going to probably hang in October.
The dates are on.
Oh, the dates you have on this. This is the prospectus. The call to entry will be going out this next week. And so the opening day is today. The last day to enter will be September the 15th, so it's going to give you a full summer. And it's just it's wildflowers of the West, so it doesn't have to be necessarily the Rocky Mountains. It could be,
Nevada,
California or Nevada,
yeah.
because we do have members outside of Colorado. I think that's important to know. And then it will go to, the images will go to the jurors between the 16th and 18th of September. Notification of acceptance will be on October the 1st. And then we have the deadline for the drop-off will be to be announced. It's going to be, we'll have a meeting here, hopefully, and you'll be able to bring your artwork for drop-off. So it'll be part of our meeting, just like this one.
Yeah. This
Okay.
year we're only going
An
to have.
in-person meeting.
We're only going to have 2 in-person meetings plus our Christmas party.
Our holiday party, yeah. This will be coming to you. Dorothy will be sending this out right away. So that's October 22. The next proposed show, or the next show that we're planning on, is going to be strictly alpine plants, subalpine and alpine plants. And we're working in conjunction with the Betty Ford Alpine Gardens. And that will be in 2023. And so we'll have a call to entry for that out soon too, because that'll give you 2 full summers to work with the alpine plants, which would be really important.
And we'd love it if you could get 3 or 4 plants in.
Yeah. And they are going to be doing they're going to be speaking, the Alpine Gardens, the naturalist is it the naturalist that's going to be speaking at the next meeting? We're going to have a Zoom meeting with someone from the Alpine Gardens. That'll be our next meeting.
So
talking
there'll be
about
2
this.
people talking about alpine plants.
And
the director and the naturalist are going to be talking.
So the important part of this is one of their emphasis is going to be on global warming and the effects of global warming on the alpine environment. So that's going to be kind of the push for this whole thing.
And I think this is an important show for us to document because, some of these plants aren't going to be there anymore. And we need to show that in this year, at this time, this plant was here and show the beauty of it.
Yes,
Isn't that meeting scheduled already for May 20th?
yes, it is. And why don't I have that?
Yeah. The Zoom meeting will be May 20th at 3:00.
And then, May 20th at 3:00, the Zoom meeting. And then they're also coordinating for us the naturalist is going to take us up to Pass Lake and on July 29th. And we'll do the time and everything. We'll make sure you have all that. We'll need people to RSVP by July the 10th, and you'll get all this information on it. But their naturalist is going to be taking us up and guiding us into the Alpine area.
They think this particular area is a place that is easy to reach. It's at the top of Loveland Pass, and there's a road into it, and they say it's just covered in wildflowers at that time of year.
And they say it's an easy walk, so it's not too stressful, and so we could all go. So I'm really excited
no
about
technical
that.
rock climbing involved.
No, yeah. So I think that's our two major announcements. Is there anything else that anybody could think of? Any questions you have? We will be I'll have you pick up your art. I had to park in the parking garage because we didn't have a way to deliver it out here in the street. So all of your art pieces are in the back of my car. And I'll need you to sign these sheets to let me know to check off that you've received your art. And I know some people had volunteered to be on I apologize to anyone who at the last meeting volunteered to be on the exhibits committee and we didn't get back to you for some reason or another. We're just, this whole thing has been really a process of reorganizing. And when Dorothy took over the presidency, we just felt that we needed to reorganize this exhibits committee. So I'm going to pass around, I'll pass around this sheet, and maybe you could work in teams or something, because I think I only have 10 copies, but I don't know where they are. Oh, I did it right there. Okay, so if you'll just kind of circle things and let me know which ones are initial the things that you feel like you could really enjoy doing. We're trying to break down the exhibits committee down to smaller pieces so that it's just not so much to do for any one individual.
Any two individuals.
Any two or three individuals.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's a big job, and if we broke it down into little jobs, then nobody would have to do too much, and we could get it done a lot better.
And this is really just kind of a short list. Like, I have the first thing is plan and create exhibits. Well, that's kind of getting ideas. I know that Laura Farnsworth had an idea for an exhibit for us. So if you have some ideas, that's the part of the committee that, I'd really like all of us as a whole committee to participate in that part. But some of it, if you want explanation, I have more detail about what the jobs entail, but we can talk about that, okay? Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there going to be a plant list for the Alpine show?
Probably. We'll
Just-
talk.
Yeah, that's one thing the naturalist was going to look into, is a plant list. And they have just put out a book just recently. It's called
On top of the world, is it? Can't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember the
It's
name
beautiful.
of the book. But it's a beautiful book of photography of wildflowers in the Betty Ford Gardens. And, you know, the naturalists that have put that together have done a plant list, and we're going to see. But, you know, I think people should be able to do the plant that they want to do. And, you know, if it's done twice, that's okay, because, you know, it's our rendition of the plants. And
So we'll see. We'll
so-
try to
but
get a
we'll try
plant
to get
list
a
out,
big
and then
variety.
we'll have somebody that will coordinate the plants. And
That's on
plant
the
list.
list.
this is the list. Okay. Any other questions? All right.
Yeah, I have one, Sharon. Is there an altitude that we're shooting for?
Yeah. Subalpine is was it
From 10,000.
from 10,000 to 11,500, and then Alpine is 11,500 to 14,500. So we kind of would like to focus on the Alpine 11,500 to the 14,500 range, but
But they're happy with all of it.
yeah. But our main focus we'd prefer to be in
And that's where
the
the most
Alpine.
endangered species are.
But a lot of times those are hard to get to, so we've included the subalpine.
Subalpine interleaves a little bit, but it comes down to, maybe 9,000 feet.
Uh-huh.
In some places, and a little lower than that in other places. It depends on your mountain. And, but pretty much those are, if there's a tree in it, it's subalpine. If there are no trees, you're in the alpine.
So in the tundra. So,
And both Martha and I took a class with Randy on Mount Evans, and that's a very accessible place to
Mount
go
Evans,
see the
It
subalpine and
is.
alpine plants.
It is.
And is it on online jury shows or something else?
it will be on,
Yeah.
both shows will be through online juried shows. So you'll have to submit your work.
So I don't know if anybody else brought work for show and tell, but if you did, you can bring it up here. Otherwise, we're going to have a half hour to visit and say hi to everybody and talk about art and what we're doing and what we want to do, and just enjoy each other's company, because we haven't done this for so long. So, unless anybody has any questions, that's it.
Can I make kind of an announcement?
Sure.
I have a handout for people.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm an instructor here at the Gardens. My name is Shire, so I know a lot of you and not all of you, but I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be having more master classes coming. So that would probably interest most of you, if not all of you. And so I have, a couple of things that I'm teaching that might be of interest this summer. And thank you. And then since the Gardens has undergone such changes also, I know some people have been frustrated at like how do we find everything and how do we contact people and all that. So I have all that contact information on here too. So I'll hand these out.
Okay, there's one more thing. We have a person that has a gift for us.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's May Day, and I didn't make everybody May Day baskets, but I brought some sunflower seeds that were bred for the cut flower market. So they're not available to anybody that's a hobbyist, or it's called Ziggy. It's a F1 hybrid, and it's a bicolor, and it's 4 to 5 feet, and it has multiple branches, and it's designed to have a nice long stem to have a nice big branch. I also brought parchment paper. They're not organic because it's not for the hobby markets. So they have like a fungicide on the seed. So I did bring parchment paper, so you can take it home and put on gloves and plant it if you want. I have like a whole bunch of those. Oh, and I also brought some weird Japanese squash seeds. Called curry. They're really good, actually.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.